Good evening. Well, according to the television ratings, about 1.5 million people are watching Sylvania Waters every week. So Nolene and Laurie and Paul and Dione here and all the others in the Baker-Donohoe family are just so familiar now, I think a lot of people feel as if they've known them all their lives. And why shouldn't they? You've shared a lot of intimacies with us, haven't you, on Sylvania Waters? But that's reality television for you. You know, a crew spent, something like 6 months living with the Baker-Donohoes, Paul and Dione included, for practically day and night, didn't they, to record this intimate view of their private lives. Very intimate view of their private lives in some cases. But I wonder just how much of what we're seeing really does reflect what their true real lives are all about. Or is Sylvania Waters just another very carefully contrived television soap masquerading as real life? And the soaps themselves, I mean, how close do they ever get to real life? Now, I know your viewing audience identifies with them very closely, and the people in them. You'll see a lot of very familiar faces here in our audience tonight, and I think probably a lot of you are better known by the characters you play than you are by your real names. But even so, does E Street and Ramsay Street and Summer Bay and even Sylvania Waters, for that matter, really tell us anything about what Australians and Australian life is all about? Now, in the program that was on before us tonight, we've seen in pretty realistic detail what life in the suburbs is all about in Australia. How close does television ever get to real life? Well, I think people have got very confused about you now, Paul and Dione, haven't they? Because they're not quite sure whether Sylvania Waters is a soap or whether it's real life or whether you're actors or real people or what. Tell us the story about the person the other night who thought you were an actor.
We went to the Channel 2 studios to watch eggshells being taped, and Paul was throwing minties at the crowd during like an interval, and one of the guys, or some lady, yelled out, "Oh, that's the guy who plays Paul in Sylvania Waters." And she was corrected, but you find a lot of people are like that. I think a lot of people think that it wasn't the real thing. And when it first came out, our publicist said people are saying that there was a script behind it, but watching it, like, not just because I was in the show, but watching it, I can't see any real way how you could put that in a script. Like,
yeah, well, I want to ask some of the script writers here shortly.
Like that.
But to what extent was it contrived? Now, I should point out that you haven't seen any of these episodes of Sylvania Waters before they went to air, so it's what you see on a Tuesday night is completely new to you, and you don't quite know what's coming up each week.
It's frightening.
But to what extent was it contrived? That's what I'm interested in. To what extent do they get you to set up certain things for them?
They never really get you to set up. They just filmed exactly what you did. They asked you about a few political issues, a few issues about your family, how you feel about them, and you virtually just, spill your guts as to...
And you told them?
Yeah, exactly, straight from the hip, No mucking around, no shoot, no bull or nothing like that.
But what was the deal with the crew that spent so much time with you? Were they just there all the time?
Oh, no, they'd vary. They'd be at my mum's place for, say, a week, or Mick and Yvette's place for a week, or around our place. Close to the birthday, or nearly all the time, every day at our place.
But like any of us who work in television know the television crew is a very intrusive thing. I can't believe you have a television crew in your house without being terribly aware you've got television there.
See, we could tell them to go away. That was a good thing.
That was the deal, was it?
Yeah. If they were giving us, the poops, we'd just say, look, go away, we don't want to see you. And they'd just leave and say, we'll be back in an hour. I'd say, no, go away.
So you had that much control over it.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that they did set up certain things, like, for instance, they wanted you to be talking about sex at some point, so they said, why don't you call your sister over and... just tell us about that, because I'm interested in...
They made my sister come over, and they made us sit down and have a discussion about sex, and I never talk about that subject with my sister. I said, look, I don't talk to my sister about these things, and they said, come on, just do it. And the whole time I was sitting there eating, because I was so nervous, and I had to stop laughing, so I was shoving things in my mouth. But it was...
Yeah, but you see, that's what I mean. How much of your real life are we seeing on Sylvania Waters?
I'd say
and to what extent is
of it a quarter of it they'd ask us to do things, but most of it was real. A lot of, you know, they'd get us to walk, say, hey, hang on, walk back in the door, or when Paul comes in, greet him, or, you know, and when Paul comes in, just go, hi. He made us go, hi, darling, how was your day at work? I mean, I never do that.
She hits me.
So, Paul, do you think, I mean, to what extent do you think this is, what we're seeing is a reflection of what you and Dione really are like when there's no crew there and you're just in private?
100% really, because, except for as she says about, you know, greeting me when I come home, but, you know, I do get a kiss, and I don't get a smack in the mouth when I come home. I do get a kiss when I come home.